good, y'all? It's your boy Ty back here with another video. In this video today, we are going to be doing episode number 2 of Extreme Makeover MyTEAM Edition in NBA 2K21. Now, it's still a little difficult because we don't have that many cards within the game to choose from, but we did get some more content and some more good budget options that I think can greatly help your squads out. And that's what I'm going to be doing today. To be involved with one of my MyTEAM Makeover episodes, all you gotta do is reply to the tweet that I put out probably about once a week to be in these episodes and for your chance to get your squad featured. So before we go any further, if you are new to the channel and have not yet, please smash that subscribe button as you're on the road to 35,000 subscribers. And let's hop right in here to the first squad. This first squad here was sent in by my guy Ryan on Twitter. He says he has about 6K to work with. Plus, he's going to sell Rashard Lewis, who is not even on his squad right now, to have a little bit more MT to work with. And so, the really big thing that I see here with this squad is I like his point guards. I like Mo Cheeks and Kenny Smith. Both for their price points are very, very, very good options. Now, the one guy I wouldn't say I like that much with this squad here is Paul George. And I honestly think there's some better options other than Paul George, especially for their price. I like Bailey Howell. Tony Kukoc can hold it down. Bill Laimbeer is good. I'm not a big fan of Myers Leonard as well. So those are kind of the two positions that I would personally upgrade the most. And there's just a lot of different options that you can go with here. Center-wise, it's tough because we don't have that many guys that, in my opinion, that I like using. Because I do like using stretch bigs too. And so in that sense, Myers Leonard's okay for the time being, but once if you can get Mike and if you can get a guy like Al Horford, I know that's a little above kind of probably where this team is at, but if you can just upgrade that stretch big from Myers Leonard to a better guy, that's probably the next thing I would do. I'd also get rid of this Paul George. If you can, maybe get a Ray Allen, Rip Hamilton, somebody like that. Even if you look at a guy like a Andre Iguodala, if you want to move Brian Russell there to the 2 as well. For now, I'm gonna plug Ray Allen in right here, and I think your squad is already looking a lot better. I don't mind Tatum at all. Myers Leonard is the next guy I would look to get out of your squad. But I like the way your squad is set up with this right here. Like I said, Myers Leonard, you can get rid of him, upgrade him. That's the next best thing you can do with this squad. But this squad is a very good starting squad. This next squad here was sent by my guy Ivan on Twitter. Says he has anywhere from 150 to 200K MT to work with, which is a ton of MT. The biggest problem he said is he's looking to replace Bill Laimbeer. And that's tough because right now at this point of the game, who are you looking at for a center? I have a hard time seeing a very good center being better than Bill Laimbeer. He says he's just adjusted from the stick now to the button, and Bill Laimbeer's jump shot is gross, which it is 100%. But who else are you gonna put there? I have a hard time finding somebody that's gonna be better than Bill Laimbeer at this point. Tomorrow we might get something, but at this point I think you gotta just keep Laimbeer here for the time we're in. I have a hard time taking him out of this lineup. What I will say is you got some guys here. Kerry Kittles, Ray Allen, Reggie Williams. For me, you need to add Doug Christie into this lineup. Now, I don't know where you're going to add Doug Christie at. It depends. You got to pick Ray Allen, Kerry Kittles, Reggie Williams. One of them has to go. Just because I think you're going to see the biggest trade-off as far as MT standpoint. I think upgrading Ray Allen to Doug Christie is worth it, as Doug Christie is one of my favorite guards in the game. You can also put Ray Allen here, get Trevor Ariza out of the lineup if you would like to do that as well. I'm fine with Tony Kukoc here. I like Kenny Smith, Mo Cheeks, those point guards. Obviously, I would never touch those point guards. And I honestly think for the time being, Bill Laimbeer he can hold it down. Now, if you want to go crazy, get a Hakeem. Do your thing, man. But if I'm you, I'm keeping Bill Laimbeer for the time being. And this is the squad I would rock out with. This next squad here was sent by my guy Ian on Twitter. Says he has about 175K MT to work with. As you guys can see, his Kersey, Kenya Martin are both evoed. He says he's close to getting Van Exel once he gets Van Exel, you can get rid of either Gus or Kenny. And I don't have a problem with Gus or Kenny. It's just, if you're no money spent, I think it's smart of you to get rid of any auctionable player for a free player. And so with that being said, all of these players are basically free players outside of Bill Laimbeer, Gus Williams, and Kenny Smith. But what I'm going to do here is once you get Van Exel, I'm going to do up with the squad, what I would do. Okay, the first piece is I see Shaq's got to go and one of your point guards got to go. So let's just say Gus Williams for the time being. You're going to have to go. Nick Van Exel, welcome to the squad. The next thing I'm going to do, I love Doug Christie. I'm going to add him right in here to the squad. Now, this is going to be more of an unlimited grind. Let's say you're grinding for Paul Pierce. This is what I would do. Move Bill Laimbeer there. Kenyon Martin, he's fine, but I don't love Kenyon Martin. And here's why I don't love Kenyon Martin. He can't shoot the basketball. And if you can't shoot the basketball at this stage of the game, you're hurting yourself. You're hurting your team. You're hurting everybody. And so that's why Kenyon Martin, I'm contemplating get rid of him. But the next thing you got to do, add Bailey Howell here. He is going to hold it down for you. Add Richard Jefferson here. Yes, I'm spending MT. This is if you want to grind for that Paul Pierce. If you want that Paul Pierce, I think these adjustments are going to help you get there. And now your squad is starting to come together. You're just going to spend a little extra MT on those 3 amethysts, as well as getting the free Nick Van Exel, so getting rid of some of those evoed cards. If you like Kenyon Martin, you could move him to the backup center, get rid of Bill Laimbeer, claim a little bit of extra MT as well there. But this is the squad I would rock out with if I was you. This next squad here was sent in by A to the Game on Twitter. Says he has about 150,000 MT to work with. And with this squad, you're not even going to need to really dive into that MT. What he did say is he struggles a little bit on the defensive end. And I know a perfect guy to add to this squad off my initial thoughts that's going to help. I know 2 guys that if I'm looking at this squad that I'm adding right away. So the first thing is that you got to decide is between Allen Houston, Andre Iguodala, Ray Allen, and Mitch Richmond. Who are your 2 least favorite? And for me personally, I'm probably going to get rid of Ray Allen. And I'm going to keep Iggy there for now. I'm going to get rid of Ray Allen. I'm going to keep Iggy. What I'm going to do is add Doug Christie. Okay, with that being said, now you need to decide between Andre Iguodala and Rashard Lewis. I'm going to keep Iggy there, and I'm going to add Richard Jefferson. So really what you needed to do is decide which out of these guys are replaceable and which guys aren't. Because if you like Ray more than Iggy, then you can plug Ray right in there. Or if you like Rashard more than Iggy, then RJ can run the 3. You can do a lot of things. But what I'm telling you now is your defensive units are looking a lot better. Even with the starting lineup, you at least got Iggy. Obviously, your bench is better off defensively, in my opinion, than your starting lineup. But your starting lineup, because World Be Free and Allen Houston, they're not going to defend a tree. You got to know that going into it. But at least you got Iggy. How is a decent enough defender? Perkins is an absolute liability. Your bench unit, Smith's a decent enough defender. Doug Christie, a great defender. RJ's obviously a pretty good defender as well. And so I think your bench gives you very good versatility. If you want to, you can make some adjustments to your starting lineup. Maybe pick up another guy that can defend at a very high level. But for you, I would still save a lot of that MT and add Doug Christie and Richard Jefferson to your squad. This next squad was sent in by my boy Calvin on Twitter. And he says he has I think it was around 120k MT to work with. He did badge out Dame. Ben Simmons and I think Giannis both have clamps. He badged some of his players out, which is important to know because if you badge a Damian Lillard out, he becomes very, very, very good. So we're going to leave Dame alone. What I am going to do is tell you to do this. No matter whether you've badged Ben Simmons or Joel Embiid out, I think there's better options. I truly do. Now, where you go, I'm going to leave that truly up to you, especially for this Ben Simmons. You could go with Bailey Howell. You could go with Richard Jefferson. You could go a lot of different places. For me, personally, you guys know, I'm going with Richard Jefferson just because I'm more comfortable with him. I like him a lot more. I'm going to leave Kobe, Jason Kidd, all these guys alone. I like this Chris Middleton with Giannis duo. I love Giannis at center. I really do. Giannis at center is a very, very good fit. So your starting lineup is fine. The simple adjustment by adding Richard Jefferson, you got to take out Embiid if you don't run that duo anymore. And I know it's going to hurt you because some of them are badged out. I just think it's important to do right now. And I still am adding Bill Laimbeer because of the lack of centers. I don't even know how to spell his name. There's an I in it. I would have never guessed that. Because of the lack of centers, I think Bill Laimbeer is important to add to the squad with Richard Jefferson. And now your squad is starting to look complete. Both offensively, defensively, I'm starting to like the squad. You might eventually have to get rid of the Chris and Giannis duo. More so the Chris part of it. But for now, I still think you're fine with it. Especially if you added some badges to him, I think you can get by with it. Eventually, you might have to add another guy like maybe an Allen Houston, Mitch Richmond. But for now, I think you can rock out with this squad. This next squad he was saying by my guy Zach on Twitter says he has 139,000 MT to work with. So here's the thing. He says he's open to any changes, and here's the first thing I noticed. Bob Lanier is fine, but the problem with Bob Lanier is he can't shoot. And if you play competitively trust me, you're gonna easily notice the differences because the other guy can paint it, especially if you run Isaiah Thomas with him. I personally did it last night, and I still was able to win the game. So I'm gonna leave that, but I'm just saying if you run a kind of Isaiah Thomas point guard, anybody but really Steph Curry at this point, a guy that can kind of dance around screens, you're probably gonna eventually want a big guy that can shoot, especially with your bench. Running Dennis Johnson with Shaq is just an absolute disaster. We're going to replace both of them anyway, so don't really worry about that. With Shaq, I think picking up Rick Smits is just a good addition. Now, Rick Smits, what he's going to give you is kind of a cheesy type of field. Now, you can pick up him, you can pick up Bill Laimbeer. Both of these options are better than that Shaq, in my opinion. The next place I'm going to go is adding Kenny Smith. A great budget option that I personally think is better than Dennis Johnson because of his versatility, both on offense and defense. Kenny's going to give you the ability to shoot the ball as well as he's not as good of a defender as Dennis, but he's going to give you that defensive type feel. What I'm going to do with your lineup as well is move Doug Christie down to the bench because you already got Isaiah Thomas up here who is going to be locking down basically anything and everything. The only other piece that I see missing is a Richard Jefferson at this power forward position. Now, if you want to go all out and get Larry Bird, do your thing. But honestly, I might prefer Richard Jefferson over that Larry Bird just because of his pure speed standpoint. Speed means more in this game than most people realize. Now, I'm probably going to move Richard Jefferson in here to the starting lineup. And really, if I was you, this is the squad I would rock out with. Alright, that is going to wrap it up for this week's episode of My Team Makeover. I know I didn't get to as many squads as I wanted to, but I went pretty in-depth this week. So if any of these squads are relatable to your squads, that's probably where I would turn as well. Remember, at this point of the game, it is very, very important to save your MT. As you guys see my MT count, very, very important to save your MT for the time we are in. Comment your thoughts about the suggestions I gave down below, guys. As always, drop a like on the video, subscribe if you are new, and as always, man, I love y'all, and have a blessed day.